Hey kids, it's Jurassic James, and on this Jurassic James Explains, we're looking at Lystrosaurus. So this is my favorite animal that's not a dinosaur in the prehistoric record. I love these things, and I've been waiting for this figure for a long, long time. So what's the big deal? So first and foremost, Lystrosaurus, not a dinosaur. This is an animal called a therapsid, which before dinosaurs ruled the earth, there were these things in the Permian called therapsids. Now you may have heard of Dimetrodon from my previous video. That's not a therapsid. It's an animal between therapsids and the Triassic mammals. They're a different group, and they rule the world from Russia to South Africa in the Permian 260 million years ago, roughly. Lystrosaurus is important, and this is why it's really, really important. You need to know it. It lived between the late Permian and the early Triassic period. Now, when people think of big extinction events, they think of dinosaurs, the meteorite coming down, the volcanoes erupting, all the things that are happening. But that extinction event is between 70 and 75% of life dying out on Earth, which is still horrific, top five. But the Permian is the number one terrifying, destructive, the worst extinction of all time. Some estimates say that 70% of life on land, 97% of life on the ocean. A lot of things died. And in some areas of the world, we thought like nothing, like life had to rebound again. It's the biggest dying off of all time. I do lectures on this. That's a whole topic in itself. But some of the causes we think are Pangea forms, which changes the environment. We have this giant supercontinent. It shuts down ocean currents, changes the environment a lot. We have meteor impacts. We have many meteor impacts, a lot of craters in this time. Number one thing I like to point out is flood basalts. So a volcano like Yellowstone, which is a caldera, continental volcano. We have Hawaii, a shield volcano. We have all these different species of volcano we see erupting regularly. A flood basalt is very unique because the Earth, it's flood, so that's like something flowing everywhere above its normal boundaries. And basalt is something from lava, so think flooding lava. So imagine like I just like cut my arm and the blood just poured everywhere. That's what a flood basalt is, and we see them happening mainly when the continents are breaking apart, but also we see a couple of events where they just kind of happen, and we're not sure how and why exactly. So they're terrifying volcanoes, and that happened at the end of the Permian period because when you hear different time periods like dinosaurs out 66 million years ago, that's because we have this meteor impact in the iridium layer, this marker bed to show that dinosaurs are here, they're not here. The Permian, you have 252 million years ago because there's a layer of basalt. We can look at it in Siberia, and there's like gorgons here, and there's not gorgons here. I'll explain that, what gorgons are in a minute. So what makes this animal so important is that it actually existed before and after the greatest extinction of all time. And that's why I love them. In fact, I first met this creature as a child. There's a show called Paleo World. And in Paleo World, these two kids would meet paleontologists. They would have these little skits and stuff, and they would hear them talk about different things. And Dr. Bacher, one of my heroes, was like, the great Lystrosaurus. He really played it up. And I go, what is this creature? And there weren't toys of them for a long time. And then I was looking on eBay. I'm always searching different areas, and I found this guy here. And this little guy, and actually I found there's three if you see here, and these are from Japan, and this a company called Kyoto, I can't say it correctly. And these guys are essentially, you give them in pieces, you have to glue the arms and all that on and plug them in. So these are my only Lystrosaurus for like years. It was just terrible. It was really sad. And so I mean I'm great figure, great model. I love it. But the fact that there's not a lot of, you get a T-Rex every year from the big companies. So this guy is really cool because Lystrosaurus is thought by some to be a burrowing animal. And so they have like these big boxy heads. In fact, the name Lystrosaurus means shovel lizard because their faces look like shovels to the scientists who first found them. So this one essentially is like kind of sprawled out. And that's the thing. People see them and they're like, I love it that when people see these things, they're like, those aren't dinosaurs. Something's different about this. This is unique, which is good. So I bought these three. I found this one. I can't figure out the company. If you know the company, please put in the comments. But this little guy here, I ordered from Spain, and it's the Lystrosaurus. It has all the major features. One of which is that they don't have teeth. They just have like these two like tusk things, right? If you see on the face right there, these little tusk things, and they have like a little palate thing inside their mouth. That's not really a palate, but it's when they scrape the food in. They're herbivores. They would crush the food that way, So that's these guys. And then came Jurassic World Dominion. I know we don't like the locusts, but here's the thing. In the preview, I saw a Lystrosaurus, and I was so excited because if it's in the movie, there's going to be toys, and that was great. And so the first thing to come out are these little guys. Now, many of you may have been to like Walmart and see these things, or Target, I think. Walmart definitely. And so I personally do not like mystery boxes because I don't like surprises. I like to know what's happening, I have detailed information, and if you get the box, you get these little figures there. You can see there are different figures. You get two in each one. The box is usually about $3.50 and stuff. So, I mean, you see I have a lot of them. You say, how did you get so many of them? Did you buy lots of boxes and open them all up? No. I, being Jurassic James, figured out the code and how to figure out which box is what. So that's why I have so many of these guys. So I'm going to show you and prove that to you that this is an unopened box, but the numbers add up. And you just open it like that, and you get the thing, and it opens. And look, another Lystrosaurus. Now, these come two in a pack, and it comes with a Dinosaurus, the little guy here, which made its debut in the movie as well. I now have lots of these as well, but I really wanted this thing right here. So, what's the big deal with Lystrosaurus? I will tell you first and foremost, when I saw it in the movie, if you haven't seen Jurassic World Dominion, just like pause for or skip ahead 30 seconds. They were in the Monaco like dinosaur fight club thing, you know, and so they have it fighting the Oviraptor, and it's just standing there like this, and then the Oviraptor runs over to it, and it bites it, pulls it down, and rips its head off, and then it runs the Oviraptor runs around like a chicken with its head cut off, which is neat. Not for the Oviraptor though. That's what we call Lystrosaurus. Now here's why it's so cool. I was excited to see it. Everyone I've talked to, like my students, my family, friends, when they see that animal, they're like, that thing's not a dinosaur. It's different. It's weird. Its arms like this. I'm like, yes, yes, we're finally getting it. But the idea here is that my wife, she called it the old man. She said, I thought, what do you mean? She goes, she thought it was adorable. She likes Grogu. And she was like, it looks like a little old man. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, if you see it, it's sitting like this, and it's little face like that. And she's like, it's like a little old man, honey. And I was like, oh, now I can't not see that. So I have cracked the code, and I now have 10 of these Lystrosauruses, which is a big deal. And so this one, in general, and I can compare both of them. Lystrosaurus, it has a 2 tusk, and it have 5 toes and fingers because they are therapsids. These are, well, actually, this one has 4 toes. It's unfortunate. The idea that therapsids are not mammals, they are the group in which modern mammals derive from. And so what's going on is that it's often thought that we have all the invertebrates and squid and fish, squid and trilobites and all these things, and then we have the land animals, amphibians from fish, and then you get to reptiles, you have dinosaurs, and then mammals come after that. The truth is, in the Jurassic period, like the first true mammals, well, depending on who you talk to, Jurassic, that range, the first true mammals evolved. These things are the things right before that. So I'm not saying that you are descended from Lystrosaurus. I'm saying the group Therapsid that Lystrosaurus is a part of, that group gave rise to mammals. Just like dinosaur gave rise to birds. I'm not saying that T-Rex evolved into your chicken dinner. I'm saying that T-Rex's cousins became modern birds. Got it? So that's what's going on here. And these guys are, these two are very extreme. One is sprawling out in the stomach, and the other is standing upright. I think the other ones show the better. They should kind of look like this. They are not dinosaurs. Their legs are not going straight down. They're off to the side. But let's get to the main event, why I'm doing the video now. I'm waiting for this for a long time. So here's the box, and it has the Lystrosaurus as Beta, and then we have Maisie, which I'll have to say there. So actually, there's no need to cut anything. My official Jurassic James scissors. Let's see. Yes, it's the official thing. So just so I can be sure I'm being polite and useful and helpful for the whole. Oh, she's a knife apparently. Oh, there it is. So Maisie, like Owen. Oh, there it is. It has a little toy. The back has all the answers. She has a little toy knife that I will. Wow, that's really in there. Oh, great. It turns out I do need these. And let's see, put it along there, like that, and it should come out now. Ah, there we go. So I'm gonna put that down there with my giant man hands. Alright, so let's put the box over here, receive the blade. So, let's get the things out of the way. So here's Maisie. If you remember, spoiler I guess, Jurassic World, she is the first human clone in that movie. I really feel in some ways personally, no with the actors, but they really, they did that. They could have done more with it. I don't know, but I really feel like they just did it, and it's like, all right, that's the thing. So here's my first or only, hopefully, Maisie figure. I'm gonna put their knife in her hand. Okay, it's not holding it. Put the knife in her hand. And that's close enough. So John Hammond's secret partner's clone granddaughter, and she will go, look, it's Owen and Claire. They found her. How about that? Look at that. I'm gonna put them together. They're a family again, just like in the movie. Also, we have Beta, which I know many movie, what do you call it, review people are like, they're just doing Baby Yoda. It's like, here's a smaller version of something you already like. And here is I'm assuming, yep, it is, the DNA code for Beta. Beta is, if you don't know, it's Blue's daughter, clone daughter. Yes, there's a lot. There's a whole lecture right there in that alone. And there they are. I appreciate that. The point we're here for, of course, is the Lystrosaurus. Now, I am praying and hoping and wishing that the Lystrosaurus figure you see here, it's too small to put in a pack by itself. And so they package it with Maisie and Beta so you can get it. I'm really, really hoping that the people, if you're watching this, people of Hasbro or whatever company, I think it's Hasbro, like, no. I'm hoping it's Hasbro, that you guys make a 2-pack of Lystrosaurus, and I will buy, if you see, I will buy a lot of them. I need lots of Lystrosaurus. So as far as the figure goes, you have your DNA code. We have the head. It's going to be very tight. The head can go up and go down, side to side. The hands, 5 fingers, 4 toes. So what's going on here is that you see the tails. It reminds me of the movie Tremors from the 80s. The Tremors, when they can walk onto the ones that are on land, that stage of life, they have little tiny tails. Anyway, people are like, that's weird. The tail's so small. It's leading towards mammals. They don't need giant tails. So this is Lystrosaurus. I would suggest the arms be out more to the side. Now, why is it such a cool animal? Why do I care so much? Is that the late Jurassic, the Earth almost, well, not the Earth, the life on Earth is challenged with the greatest challenge of all time, right? So much so, it could be argued that the age of dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period, these animals that are in the Mesozoic were the descendants of survivors of the Permian extinction, Permian Triassic extinction. So that's why we may have had less die-off in the Cretaceous, because they had traits that helped them get through, right? So Lystrosaurus is one of these animals that lived in early Jurassic. Now, time scale wise, in the Jurassic Park world, in the 90s, we had the Lycaenops. This is a Gorgon. Gorgons, or Gorgonopsia, or late Permian. They're the top predator of their day. They're like the T-Rexes of their time. But they're not reptiles. They are these therapsid animals. And these are the carnivores. Here is Lycaenops from the original Jurassic Park. This is Istrosevia, which is the same one we have in the museum in Houston. This is the actual genus from Russia. And these guys and their prey. Now, this is an animal called, almost dropped it. This is an animal called Dicynodont. I'm sorry, this is a, let's see, made in China, 2010, Safari, Lystrosaurus. This is a company, I can't find them online, but they came in, kind of like these guys, they came in pieces, you glue them together. I found them when I was very, very young. But the idea is that Dicynodonts, which are actually bigger than Lystrosaurus, these, reverse scale kind of, these guys are found in the Permian and not in the Triassic. So the question is, why does Lystrosaurus live in the Triassic and Permian, and what didn't die? So what I'm pointing out to you is that people ask me all the time, what causes extinction? How did animals die? The question is, why did some live and some die? Especially some that are very similar. And so, on that same note, I will point out that this is the, wait, where's the camera? There it is. So this is the early, actually you're looking at it left to right. Yeah, this is fine. So this is the late Permian, and here's the early Permian. And the only 2 animals that were found in this time that could actually be big enough to challenge Lystrosaurus, and these are not to scale. There's a safari tube of prehistoric crocs. This guy's in it. It's Protosuchus. So it's a safari figure in a little croc tube, not to scale. They're usually bigger than Lystrosaurus. There is another. Now this is actually a therapsid from the Permian, but it looks like one, or not looks like. Its skeletal anatomy is similar to that of one that would live here. So these guys, imagine actually better scaling, like that. So these guys are not even. So these guys are like closer in size. They're the animals that are big enough to take on Lystrosaurus. For you Jurassic Park fans, you're saying, wait a minute, Jurassic World fans, does that mean if Lystrosaurus is in the Triassic that it lived with our friend T.D. Strophius and Stringosaurus and Herrerasaurus? And the answer is no. They are different parts of the Triassic. The Triassic period, where the Cretaceous means creta after chalk, it means these chalk beds made from plankton. The Jurassic is the Jura Mountains in Switzerland. That's where it was first recognized, right? So there's the early and late Cretaceous, and there's subdivisions. Well, with the Triassic, it's called the Triassic. There are three major layers, three sections that are obvious: the early, middle, and late. And so the late Triassic is when we have Coelophysis. This is a safari Coelophysis. I'm going to turn these guys sideways out of my way. So safari has this one. In the original Jurassic Park, there are these little Coelophysis figures, which are really cool. I look forward to doing a video on this guy because there's something cool story there. Plesiosaurus, which is what's called a prosauropod historically, early sauropod relative, and of course the Plesiosuchus, which is found in the Jurassic World line. So what's going on is you're seeing the late Triassic, the middle Triassic, the early Triassic, late Permian. So Lystrosaurus did not live with Stringosaurus, did not live with Herrerasaurus. Those are different animals. Plus, Lystrosaurus is found in, well, actually, a huge range: South Africa, India, Mongolia, Russia, they have, South America. They have a huge range of states that they're living in. So this is a really cool animal, and I'm really happy it's out. And it's so weird, and I like it so much. And I just really hope that the Jurassic World people, whoever they are like, let's make more of these for people like James to appreciate, because I want a lot of Lystrosaurus figures, because my whole life I've loved this animal, and there's finally a sufficient amount of toys out for them, and like, finally, you're like, you have so much, but it's what I don't have that keep me up at night. So that's Lystrosaurus in a nutshell. Again, if they come out with more different types, repaints, or whatever, I'm going to do a second video probably, because I'm pretty sure, if I know me, I'm forgetting to go over a lot of information that you would find interesting. But I'm just so excited right now. And so here we are. Appreciate it. That being said, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next week.